Got to, man. Gotta bounce back. Shout out to my homie Keys, Xavier Keys, on the vocals on this. Okay. Honestly, they couldn't stop me if they wanted to. Gotta get up, go out and get it, and that's what I'm gonna do. I've been focused, I'm not hungry. Yo, I'm starving, dude. Grind mode with my team, we making these power moves. Honestly, they couldn't stop me if they wanted to. Gotta get up, go out and get it, and that's what I'm gonna do. I've been focused, I'm not hungry. Yo, I'm starving, dude. In grind mode with my team, we making these power moves. Cause I ain't got no time to be wasting with all this music I'm making. Man, I'm tired of being impatient, so I keep making these moves here with my crew. Vow to myself to always stay true, so I don't care what nobody else do. I know why. Like an erection, bumps in the road, but nah, I ain't stressing. I don't work out, but homie, I'm flexing. Every time I get on the beat and I bless it. Rise and shine, and I never let another come and stop my grind. Cause I grind all night at the gig, no lie. Then it's back in the booth for some overtime. Come on. Nope. Shout out to Miss Alma Ramos. Shout out to Miss B. I said, hey. My mom told me to get them, so I don't care what y'all say. I just keep grinding. Yeah, I stay working, cause it's, you know, I said, that's right. In the lab with a pen and a pad, let's ride. Make it look so easy, don't it make y'all mad? One thing I know, one thing is certain. I can't stop, won't stop, cause me and my team stay working. One thing I know, one thing is certain. Can't stop, won't stop, on the grind, getting mine, I'm working. No sleep. Spit heat, killing these tracks, and I'm not gonna stop till I'm up on top where I'm supposed to be. Everywhere I go, I scream SP. We're more than a crew, we're your family. Working trying to get a couple Grammys, G, have them sitting on top of the mantelpiece. Thank God. Go hard, they just mad cause I'm on my job. But where I'm from is to the ground to starve. Starving, I just can't do it. Not having it, unthinkable. So I turn in and stretch arms strong, and now I can reach the unreachable. Let's go. Hey, trying to... Yo, I said I can't sit still. I just laugh at y'all haters. Cause, yeah. Hey, mom's told me, so I don't. Let's go, I just keep. Yeah, I stay. Cause it's, you know, I said, that's right. In the lab with a pen and a pad, let's ride. Make it look so easy, doesn't it make you mad? One thing I know, one thing is certain. I can't stop, won't stop, cause me and my team stay working. One thing I know, one thing is certain. Can't stop, won't stop, on the grind, getting mine, I'm working. Don't ever let anybody tell you that you can't get what you want. Whatever you dreaming for, you get out there and you get it. You make it happen. Never mind the haters. Real spill. Cause all day, always, get them. Yes sir. I'm grinding. Stay working. Hey, I said that's right. In the lab with a pen and a pad, let's ride. Make it look so easy, don't it make you mad? One thing I know, one thing is certain. Can't stop, won't stop, cause me and my team stay working. One thing I know, one thing is certain. Can't stop, won't stop, on the grind, getting mine, I'm working. Gotta. Yes, sir. Love them.
Rise and shine. Pour yourself a cup of coffee and tune in to Good Morning Aurora. News, weather, and really cool interviews. Monday through Friday from 8 to 9 a.m.
Good morning, Aurora. Good morning, Aurora. Good morning, Aurora. The time is now 8 o'clock a.m. on the nose. You are listening to and watching Good Morning Aurora, the second largest city's first daily news podcast. And that's so good. We got cookies. We got education. We got the munchies. We got coffee, we got water, and we got news. We got guests in the studio, which you guys will see at about the 8:10 moment. We got I Got The Munchies education. We got Berwin and Nikki here in the studio with us. How y'all doing this morning?
Great.
All right. So we're going to learn about the cannabis industry, what's going on with it, some of the things we spoke about before the show started about licensing and new communities of color becoming licensed and taking part in the industry. But to start off with, Nikki, let us know where you're from.
So I am a St. Louis native,
Okay.
but I've resided in the greater Chicagoland area for about 18 years.
Okay.
I'm a makeup artist by trade, by art.
Okay.
I'm also an independent filmmaker.
Okay.
And
it's a hell of a resume, y'all. You know why we got the cannabis, we got the films and all that.
yeah, so now it's always exciting to transition into something new.
Mm-hmm.
And so I saw opportunity to get into cannabis. I already knew my partner here, Berwin,
Okay.
from doing concert promotions. You know, so that resume gets longer and deeper. And we like to empower and educate and convey the cannabis experience and destigmatize.
Right.
So that's why I got into it for all of the medicinal purposes and to say, hey, this is not a bad thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
I'm originally from Harvey, Illinois.
Harvey, hell yeah. That's
so
right. That's
all
right.
my life, Harvey world. I've been a DuPage County resident for about 15 years.
Okay.
Resident in Naperville for 8 years. I'm in the cannabis business, education aspect. A lot. That's it for now.
So what's the beginnings of I Got The Munchies education, IGTME? What's the beginnings of that?
Okay, so IGTM references I Got The Munchies. We initially started as an edibles company.
Okay.
And we converted into education. So as we became successful in the edibles arena and learning different methods, we began to educate people in a clean infusion process.
Okay.
So through those classes, we taught over 1,000 people that process. And then licensing came about in Illinois.
Okay.
And that's when we got into getting people of color into the cannabis business, informing them, walking through, filling out the applications, consulting, and we were quite successful. We had a high number of people licensing in Illinois.
So, and Nikki, you also mentioned the destigmatizing part.
Yes.
So, it sounds, so we know that typically, especially in America, the old films and all that, cannabis has always been portrayed as, you know, the devil's lettuce.
Right.
You know, as soon as you hit that joint, you're on your way to hell.
Right. The gateway drug.
Exactly. But the other aspect of it too, with the stigmatizing and education part, is that, you know, it's always been perceived that you know, only people of color are engaged in such a wicked thing. You know, and what's the work like destigmatizing it? Do you meet people who are receptive to it, or do you always meet people who are consistently on the opposite end of it? Like, we don't want to hear about left-handed cigarettes.
Well, now, of course, with legalization across the board in many states, there are still some states that don't have not even a compassionate use component.
Right.
But people are a little more open to it, even if they don't partake.
Okay.
But they're more interested in it. It's basically crossed over into, man, I can't believe something that a Schedule I drug is legal. You know what I'm saying? Still, Schedule I need to be descheduled because that's what creates the uneven balance with, I'll just jump right in with Black Americans. Yeah, it's not equal.
Right.
For this, so it, like you said, it creates this, or this narrative was created that said, only people of color, Black people, are partaking in this devil's lettuce, right? But it's not true. It's equal.
Yeah.
I watched this documentary, and there's a guy who, Mississippi, Mississippi University, I believe, they are the only people to federally allow to grow cannabis, and they're doing research, but they don't report researching. But this is federal, and this guy, he's been receiving like 300 joints. They sent it to his doctor, and they cut the program off. So the government is not releasing, but their information and all of the studying is coming from outside of the U.S. borders. That's pushing forward. So there's so much more information out there, and with legalization in a lot of places now, people are more open, more receptive, less likely. So I would say that it's being broken down, but we have to keep pushing for the laws to change and reflect, the fairness, people's attitude.
Yeah.
But to go back in the beginning, the start is like 7 years ago. So we're talking about what people look and what they thought of it 7 years ago.
Right.
Now it's popular because now people are saying it's $1 billion industry. It's a $2 billion, $3 billion industry.
They got little commercials for it.
She's the talk of town, for real.
Yeah.
And seeing New York going into the legalization process. California is, of course, recreational legal. That was a few years ago. Although people probably thought it was legal, it was only medically legal in California for some time. So when you approaching people about business regarding cannabis and you're a minority, it's like almost automatically a no. Even when I was teaching classes when I first started, they could have came in at any time because technically it's illegal. Right. But I understand that we're lacking education. We're lacking the resources to get into cannabis fully to benefit. So even when, like I said, when I started, I went to a conference in New York at the Javis Center. They had the largest East Coast conference for cannabis. When I went to that conference, it was majority Caucasian. If it was a Black person there, they were an athlete. I saw very light Latino representation. And even at this particular meeting, the former chief of police for Chicago, Gary McCarthy, was at this actual conference. I actually spoke to him at this conference. So he was there. Gary McCarthy was there. Spoke to him myself. The mayor of New York, the governor of New York, they were all there in prohibition of cannabis. But we all know what they do in Chicago. Being from Chicago, we know how they treat cannabis, how it's used to enter into your vehicle and use it further, probably violate your rights or whatever. So me actually being there, seeing these things, and seeing that we weren't even participating in the business, and at the time, prior to COVID, New York was talking about legalization. So I once again saw we're probably gonna get froze out again. So once I returned from New York, I got very proactive about educating and getting us into the business on the ground floor. So I was able to see a lot of problems. I was able to see the success of it, which was I went to Denver 8 years ago from watching a show on HBO about 3 to 4 white people getting together. Didn't know much about cannabis. They pooled their money together, came to Colorado, opened a dispensary. I couldn't believe it's 8 years ago. I'm like, God, are they really doing this? So I had a job. I was working for Verizon. So they trained us before we were going on the floor. We had like a week off period before we were going on the floor. So I took that week to go to Denver to see myself, like, are they really doing this? And I had never been to Denver before, never been to Colorado before. Went there, tried to find a dispensary, got a little lost, took a cab to a dispensary, went in, bought some cannabis legally, spent like $100, had a small bag, came out to catch a cab or whatever back. It was raining. They weren't taking me back. So I'm standing like 15 minutes, it's raining, I'm doing this, and cab steady, So I go back in the dispensary. So I'm in there like 45 minutes, and I'm seeing who's coming in. And nobody that was coming in looked like us. Right. So I'm looking like, man, it's like heavy traffic. Everybody was white. So I'm like, yo, so it's something. Like, I need to get in this because they coming in here doing this. I was thinking I was gonna see a bunch of me's.
Right.
But that's when I realized, I said, oh, it's a whole business to this. And that's what sparked the whole I Got The Munchies idea. Was we were sitting there that 45 minutes and watching, you know, all these transactions, watching all this money occur. And I was like, wow, I really wanted to be in on it. Like I just couldn't believe that they were legally selling cannabis, and like we weren't then, and like we were getting prosecuted. You know, friends go to jail for selling the $20 bag of weed. They just sold me 100 legally. Right. So that's kind of was like my main, like the spark of actually starting this particular business.
All right, Alyssa Ocone, good morning. Jennifer Ryan Mayton, good morning. Johnny Felix, what's up? Good morning. Oh my goodness. Cruz Ocho, Josie Mendoza Gella, Bianca Camargo, Aisha Saxon, Erica. Hit the claps for Erica. Yeah, that's yes. Yeah. Y'all seeing something a little bit different on the camera today. You know, you're due to the lack of a cylindrical, or excuse me, a circular table. A brother got to be on the side. Hey, y'all, how y'all doing? Okay. So if you're just tuning in, we're speaking with Berwin and Nikki of I Got The Munchies Education. We're talking about the cannabis industry and all of its inside and out, and getting to know its familiarity. But here's the thing. Mm-hmm. So Illinois passed the legalization, but it doesn't seem like there's been, I know that the Illinois State Police, I think they're supposed to be cleaning out convictions of people who, you know, overturning their convictions and all that. But I wonder, and it's 8:12, so we'll keep this going, but I wonder if cannabis had not been legalized, do you think, this is an opinion question, do you think those convictions would ever have been overturned or relooked at, you know, without effective lawyer representation to have, you know, to pay and then go back and look?
No.
Why would they have needed to be?
I think it's used as a leverage, right? Because it's two components to these licenses. Right. One of the components was the alleged justice of saying, okay, we're going to overturn this conviction. Okay, but overturning a conviction, that's fine, but how do you rectify? You know, how do you rectify the conviction? What is, you know what I'm saying? How do you, when you do justice, you have to say, okay, is the justice just saying, oh, we were wrong, we're going to overturn a conviction? Okay, well, where's the compensation? Like, where? You know, are you eligible for programs now? Are you, you know, what occurs after you overturn a conviction that you saying wasn't even legal in the first place?
See, that's my whole thing with like we talked about before this started with the camera. That's my whole thing. It's for me, the whole cannabis industry is intertwined with law enforcement. It is the opposite side of the coin. And it seems to me, a person who's not in the industry in any way, it seems to me almost sadly hypocritical to have, I mean, some of these cannabis dispensaries, they look like the Apple store. You go in there, they got the touch screens, they got holograms, and even the lowest couple of grams.
Simple possession. I mean, there are people doing time for 1 gram
and it just
half a gram.
It does upset me. It really does. I have to be honest with you. It really does upset me. I appreciate the educational aspect of what you guys are doing and bringing a better representation to it. But to me, it does hurt.
So we clear. We represent us, and that's why we in the business, right? Because we saw, again, I'm from Harvey. I don't know if people are familiar, but economically, it's an economically depressed area. So one of the intentions of
I'm from Harvey. I grew up over by St. Mark's and all that.
What? Yeah. Harvey, we're in the building.
South
this love for real. There, 149 from Winchester. 149.25. But so my whole plan basically came off a concept of the Halsted Street area. So from 159th and Halsted to like 70, right before Homewood. It's a stark difference in the towns, right, between Homewood and Harvey.
Right.
So Homewood is very successful. They just actually won a casino license and built a multi-million-dollar hotel there.
Oh wow.
Yeah, they just won that. But right over this overpass on Halsted is Harvey, and it's economically depressed. So I looked at the cannabis business as a way that, okay, we need to have things that attract people into the community, right? You got to have an attraction in order to build your community. So we envision, actually putting something in Harvey that would attract people, generate tax dollars for the community, help people open different businesses. Because again, like you said, the line's wrapped around the corner. People want to eat, people want to shop.
Right.
So you would be able to develop and do different things within our own communities. So we attacked it from that aspect. Yes, we could look at it from the aspect of all of these things occur, and it has occurred. But now we look and say, okay, now that we able to get to the table and have discussions with people, are we going to keep talking about the past?
Sure.
Are we going to move forward? Because we know what they've done.
Right.
I'm totally against what they've done. And even, you have to be able to look at another person's side, kind of as far as an aspect to see what they were trying to do.
Sure.
So Illinois tried to do social equity. And when people don't understand fully what social equity what it is, but Illinois tried to slow the market down.
Yeah.
Is what they really did by offering a limited amount of licenses. They would have just unleashed, it's supposed to be a total of 500 dispensary licenses. They would have just unleashed those 500 dispensary licenses on the first one that went legal. Would any of us got anything?
No.
It would have all went corporate. So what they did was stagger how the licenses come out over a 6-year period, right? Every 2 years they release a certain amount of licenses, right? By that time, it's supposed to be education programs where you're supposed to run into somebody, get educated on the business,
right? Do
what you got to do in between these times, because a lot of people, I know people that won the licenses, they don't know how to operate the business.
Yeah, that's that's a good point, because the point is, at least for me, we're not dwelling on the past, because the opportunity is like the iron is hot. The iron is hot to do something new and create something new. Like it is. Yeah, the iron is hot to do something better.
I share that same level of I'll use the word disgust.
Yeah.
For the unfairness in the justice system across the board for people of color and Black people, or Black Americans, more specifically Black Americans. Okay, but that is why we do what we do. To push forward, that's why I aligned myself with Berwin to push forward, because we know what's done, and if we just sit and not say anything or just talk about what was done, then we're not moving the needle. We have to be a part of moving the needle, so we have to jump in with no political connections, no law enforcement. These were very likely partnerships once this thing went legal.
Right.
You have people in government and law enforcement. The very thing that was not supposed to happen is what's happening really behind closed doors.
True.
So we are true grassroots, from Berwin hosting, seminars and classes in the basement of a barbershop. Okay. Really letting people know about the business. That's what IGTM education is.
Damn, started from the bottom. Now we here.
Yes,
Oh,
yes,
God. Hit the clap for that. We can clap for that. I like that.
We just attack and communicate with people, like, to make them comfortable, because when you say billion, a million, it's intimidating.
Yes.
So we wanted to let people know, like, hey, the smallest person, if you have a vision, you got some work ethic, you can get in this business. It's open. It's a lot of different opportunities. It's not just touching other planets. You have to have accountants for cannabis, lawyers for cannabis. It's marketing for cannabis.
Right.
There's so many opportunities regarding cannabis that we don't just push for like on a dispensary per se in cannabis.
So here's the next question I got. The time is 8:20 a.m. You are listening to and watching Good Morning Aurora, the second largest city's first daily news podcast. We got Nikki, we got Bergwin, and we got the Munchies education. Oh, yeah, I like that. That's a little freestyle.
I like that.
Okay. Here's the thing too. The dispensary, the dispensaries, and the new way that cannabis is flowing. I do have to say that it is better that it has a more professional, cleaned up, like, aspect to it. Because I think that the thing that makes, for the law enforcement, for the governments, I think the thing that makes it attractive now, or the reason why we can do something now, and the reason why perhaps we should legislate more, perhaps there should be more opportunities, perhaps people suffering from bone cancer should be allowed to. I think that the dispensaries can help, because if the culture or if the industry has a more like cultivated professional appearance, that could do it. Like, that'll help it. You know what I'm saying? That'll help it out, because the alternative is like the image, right? The image of the hand sale. You know, that same time. You know, and that kind of with the representation, the outward appearance. The outward appearance, the iron is hot for that to do better.
Well, the business runs twofold. So the legalization functions in two ways. So one, the main thing is the testing of the product. So when you buy from a dispensary, that product is tested. It's not, you may not have heavy metal contamination in it. It's different things. Like I used to smoke street weed and had headaches all day. Buying weed from a dispensary, I haven't had one headache at all. So there have been stories right now about even in the dispensaries right now, it's a lot of moldy cannabis.
Right.
So imagine what's being grown on the streets and what's being what's being handed out. You have people
that had the sack in a shoebox for 3 weeks.
Not just that, but people putting fentanyl, pesticides, different things on cannabis. It's not being tested. So the business brings the testing of it, which is you're getting a safer product that you're consuming, which that benefits everybody as a whole. And then secondly, as far as the look of the dispensaries is with any other business, they are going to aesthetically, try to please you and come up with different methods to sell to you. It's a new industry, and again, that's one of the things about this particular industry. You have over 150 dispensaries about to come out in the next year. It's a lot of black designers that could design a dispensary.
Right.
It's a lot of Latino engineers that can be engineers at these dispensaries. So these are opportunities, right? Because most of these licenses are supposed to be social equity license, which means 51% owned by a minority or a social equity applicant.
Right.
So again, it's a pool of business that's going to go on. It's all about how do we take advantage of our business, because it's not about just us getting a licensing, but it's about how we can economically all benefit, as a culture and a business. And that's where we usually kind of lose out at, because we'll turn around and have $100 million worth of business, say build out dispensaries, and then we go to a white person instead of saying let's give an opportunity to to our people. Let's see what this person has going on and empowering. Right. And that's one of the main things that we've done. We've empowered like a lot of people in cannabis. That's good. That are well off today.
That's good. Yeah. All right. Heal the world, make it a better place.
That's what cannabis is all about.
For me and the entire human. All right. Buenos dias, Ali Hernandez. Hope you're feeling better. Cheryl Brownell, good morning to you. Good morning, everyone. That's Anna Sierra. And Tyrus Brooks is here. Good morning to you as well. The time is 8:24 a.m. You're listening to and watching Good Morning Aurora, the second largest city's first daily news podcast, the #1 podcast in the history of humans talking on microphones. Not since Alexander Graham Bell. Not since the first phonograph. Not since the first time they put a cup with the string. Have you heard anything so great? We're getting educated today. Monica, can you take me to a commercial, please, so I can deliver some local news? All right, real quick, you guys. Real quick. So, round 2 of the ILRPP program is open. The last day to apply is January 9th at midnight. The ILRPP 2 program will provide 18 months or $25,000 in rent assistance if you or someone you know is behind on their rent or household income due to COVID-19. You can go to the link that Monica will please put in the chat, IllinoisHousingHelp.org. IllinoisHousingHelp.org. Once again, that's IllinoisHousingHelp.org. If you need questions on the application or filling it out, you can contact the Neighbor Project, located here in downtown Aurora. Their number, 630-906-9400. That number again is 630-906-9400. Okay. Also, don't forget that also on the 8th of January, there will be a free women's self-defense demo taking place at 727 Hill Avenue here in Aurora at A-Town Boxing Club. State Representative Barbara Hernandez will be hosting this event, and there will be many great techniques. Water and snacks will be provided. You must wear socks and gym shoes. And for more information or to register, you can call 630-270-1848. That number again is 630-270-1848. Congratulations to Judge Bianca Camargo on making the recent Law Bar headline. I saw it. I hope I got the name of that right, but I read the article. It was real good, so shouts out to a new judge. Hey, holla. All right. And Renee Cruz, good morning to you as well, Judge. Yeah, we got, we got the government tuning into the show. That's right, making it. We know forging a new
got some classes,
a new everything. Yep.
Yeah.
Also, Tracy Duran. Good morning to you. Happy Tuesday. Thank you very much, and good morning, everyone. Have a fantastic and outstanding day. Love you guys. Thank you very much, Tyrus Brooks. Very much appreciated. All right. So let's get back to our Maria Chirito. Good morning to you. Get back to our conversation now. All right. So we talked about the social justice aspect of it. We also talked about representation. From a basic standpoint, what are the costs for someone and the basic procedure if you are interested? So if you're interested in getting licensed, how does that go about? Is it's education classes first and then licensing? What's the cost? How does it work?
What I'm going to do is I'm going to go over what licenses are available and then go over what you would need. Okay. So in Illinois, there's a transportation cannabis license, which allows you to transport between the businesses. They are the only ones in the state allowed to transport cannabis. You have the craft grow, which are smaller grows of cannabis. It's not a cultivation center, but you're allowed to grow that.
Okay.
You're also allowed to create.
Wait. Hold on. Mm-hmm. Let me stop you right there.
Go ahead.
You said not a cultivation center.
Correct.
But you're allowed to grow.
Correct. So craft grow is smaller, 15,000 square feet. Okay. Cultivation centers are much bigger than 15,000 square feet.
Now, in either of those two, that means that you cannot be growing in your basement or your garage.
You can grow from home.
Okay.
If you have a medical card, you can grow up to 5 plants from home. We have a class for that.
Okay.
But
all right.
You can grow 5 plants legally from home.
Oh, keep going. I'm just writing down my notes.
Got you. Okay. So then we had the dispensaries that right. It's popular with everybody. Everybody's talking about the dispensary. So that's the other one. You have the education license, which we have, IGTMEducation. You can find us on the IDFPR website, as well as the others that had a license to teach in Illinois as well. Missing one license: infuser, transportation, dispensary. Is that all of them? That is all of them. Okay.
Yeah.
So to get the dispensary, which is the one everyone's talking about, that process started 2 years ago. Initially, it's supposed to be 75 licenses dispersed. It's up to almost 200 after this lawsuit is wrapped up, which is supposed to be January. They continue to some part in January right now. So roughly the cost, you're looking at starting out, you would need about $1 million to $2 million.
Yeah.
Logically for that dispensary. You get a lot of help as far as if you qualify as a social equity applicant. But to be successful, you're looking at like $1 to $2 million. That's with your staff, your building, different things of that nature. So people have to take into account the people that they have working for them. You got to have a staff. Like a lot of people didn't take that into account. You have to have a trained staff. Same thing, the crab grow. More millions. None of these are like $100,000. These particular licenses are not like $100,000 situations. Transportation is what we recommended to a lot of people, which is much cheaper to get into. You may, depending, because your fleet can be anywhere from one vehicle. You can scale them up to many as you want. So that particular one, you can get $100,000 essentially get that done. So we were able to also procure that license as well. That license, you can strategically, you can go to all of the facilities because you're the only one that can transport. So through doing the transportation, you're going to the cultivation center, you're going to the craft grow, you're going to the infuser, you're going to the testing lab, and then ultimately you're also going to the dispensaries. So you will have relationships with all of those people strategically in order to, when the next round of businesses come about, then you will feel safer about doing a dispensary or doing a craft grow because you have more education, you have more business sense in the cannabis industry because of your contact from dealing with all the people in the state.
Okay.
Studying it from the inside and actually participating in probably the simplest
training
way.
wheels.
Yeah,
Cannabis
to get
training wheels.
education because
Studying
education
cannabis,
is
how do you do that?
and you immerse yourself
wheels.
in the culture,
Right.
in the mainstream market.
Right.
You know, you read up on the laws, you stay in tune with what's going on, you know, attend the conferences, you know, to get the information. You have to educate yourself about how the industry is being carried out.
Okay.
And how it functions. Oh, one more license, the infuser's license, which you don't do any extraction, you only infuse food items. And that's one of the cheaper licenses as well. So it's a way business-wise you can make an awesome income off of the infusion license. But that license allows you to make all edibles, all drinks, all of the, you know, and you're the only licensed person that can provide edibles to a dispensary. So as you can see, it's a niche carved out. So for example, right now the market's at 1.2 billion as it stands. You also can go on IDFPR to get those particular numbers to see what the sales are. All this is documented. So they have the amount of sales, which is in the millions. So it's millions of units of product being sold of cannabis as we speak right now. So you can actually take the numbers and see how much you can make. So if edibles consist of 30 to 40% of the market at 1.2 billion, right? We talking like 48 million. 480 million. So just that particular lane, talking about $480 million. So it would be very valuable to have that cheaper infuser license,
Right.
because it's at least 480,000 to 500,000 units is edibles. So if you get in on that unit, like right now it's 20 of those licenses, I believe, out. So 20 divided by 400,000 divided by 20, you can literally like figure out your math on it and see what you would generate just from having that license. You'd be like a millionaire from just having that one particular license, and it's the lowest one.
Now, how long does it take for the licenses?
This particular is 2 years right now because of COVID, but the normal situation, depending on the license, like the education one we just did, it was like maybe a 3-week process. They released it August 1st. It was due August 15th. We had worked on it prior, but it was like a 3-week window that we worked on those particular licenses.
You worked for Verizon.
Yeah.
Before
actually Xerox that had the contract for Verizon.
Okay, gotcha.
So we'll let Xerox get their credit.
Nikki, what about yourself?
I worked actually in the Department of Digital Learning and Media Design at Governor State University.
Governor State University.
Yes,
okay.
yes.
And
freelance makeup artistry.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, you mentioned that, and promoting.
And promoting,
right.
Doing events.
Okay.
You know, we do an event called Clouds.
What's that?
Cannabis and cocktails.
So one of the things we did was, because it's different, there's so many ways to make money in cannabis, and we know that's like our culture, especially when it comes to Chicago. It's part of the culture. Like my mom smokes cannabis. I grew up, that's the culture that I grew up in. So now you're gonna have people trying to capitalize. And so one of the things we want to do is show people how to safely consume, responsibly, legally, and protect it. So we make sure we have events with enough security and enough people that know the protocol to the consumption of cannabis. We made sure we have vendors that were educated and how to vend, how to properly dose it, and no one's overdosing.
Proper dosing of the edible offerings that they have. Yeah.
So cultivating.
Which I didn't mean to cut you off, because is there, when it comes to the dosing, you can. I could be wrong about this. I apologize, but Are dispensaries only allowed to have certain products up to a certain dosage? Is that?
Yeah, the state. Well, the state says that the law. These licenses are the states. They're just licensing you their business. So technically, it's their business.
Okay.
Right. So it's a certain amount. And what it is only 100 milligrams in one package, one serving. One package. But each serving is 10.
Okay.
That's
it
the
can't go over
industry
10 milligrams.
standard. 10 milligrams
per serving.
Yeah.
So if you ever get a candy bar, that candy bar will be in 10 pieces, and it will clearly state
gotcha.
the dosage on that. But nothing is supposed to go over 10 milligrams per serving, 100 milligrams per package.
Gotcha.
So if you see anything say that says 200, we've all seen it probably online, 200, 500 milligrams, 1,000 milligrams, all of that's a legal product.
And everybody knows somebody that ate a brownie that did them in.
Yeah. So,
that's a part of the stigma. So having the proper like numbers.
Yeah, like one of those stories I heard when I was a kid, like there's somebody in every town in America knows a person who now like is in a asylum and you know what I'm saying? Oh, his name was Randy. One of those famous one of those famous stories that could never be proven.
Right,
Now, who knows?
The Debo and the chicken coop.
Yeah.
But a lot of it goes back again to education. That's one of the reasons we really into it, to educate people on, hey, this is supposed to be proper dosage. This is proper etiquette. You know what I'm saying? This is how you get into the business. You can't get into the business saying I had 200 milligram brownies, because that's not part of the business.
Right.
That's part of the black market.
Right.
So we have to learn to teach people about the discernment between the black market and the legal market, and the dangers of buying product from off the black market as opposed to buying a
legacy market.
But no, it's the black market because the testing. Right, because if somebody gives somebody something that's molded, if they give somebody something that's not legacy, that's black market.
Right.
And so we have to say, we have to step away from it and say it's a business. Approach it as what it is. It's a business. And say, okay, we know we get these services on the legal market, and anybody in their right mind would want tested product. Period. You want to know what you're consuming.
Cheryl Brownell says, education is everything. Thank you very much. That's right.
Yes.
That's right.
Yes.
Good morning, Aurora. Stay warm. Thank you, Cindy. Good to see you. Sandra White, good morning to you. Always tuning in. We appreciate you very much. The time is 8:38 a.m. All right. So something else that I think is interesting to know, kind of about the industry and educating people, is so you mentioned that you guys do classes.
Yes.
You still do classes?
Yes.
Okay. What are the classes like? And every step of licensing requires a certain number of classes.
Well, the mandatory class is the Illinois Responsible Vendor Training class. That's required to even be in the industry. That you can get on.
Dispensary
agent card.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you have to have it to even be in the industry. That's on our website, www.IGTMEducation.com. We have classes listed on there. So there's 6 different classes we teach. But the one that you need, that's required, that you have to have, is the responsible vendor training. We also offer, we've developed over the years different classes where we could help people further in the business. That I wish I had when I started.
Right.
So we have an infusion 101 class to teach people how to properly infuse food items, cannabis. We have a cooking candy with cannabis class. We teach you how to make hard candies and properly dose them from scratch. We have a media class where if you're taking business, you do things like this, for example, press kits, different things of that nature. So we teach you how to deal with these type of things, newspaper articles, press. Because we are in the second biggest market for cannabis right now is Illinois. We have a
grow
class, so we teach people how to grow from home legally on that particular process, the 5 plants. We have the packaging protocols class to teach people who are interested in creating edibles how to properly package their strains, how to make legal packaging, and how to get into the dispensaries, how to legally do these things.
Okay, so you can't just have no sandwich bag.
Right,
no, that's dead.
Not at all.
No, that's dead.
Not at all.
So no, all packaging has to be like child-proof. That's a big thing. It's
Right.
like child-proof packaging is huge. The child-resistant packaging, smell-proof packaging, and for it to be able to be closed again.
Okay.
So you can't even transport if it can't be closed again. Not child-proof. You can't even transport the cannabis. And so those are different things like we want to definitely educate people about, because people want to transport their cannabis and they might throw it in the plastic bag like you speak of, and that's illegal. Even though cannabis is legal,
Right.
that's illegal.
That
That's
could be
illegal.
a problem.
They can give you a ticket
if somebody wanted to make it a problem.
Yeah.
Right.
But if you have it in a container that came from the dispensary and you get pulled over for whatever reason, there's nothing they can do. It's in a container as long as it's concealed. It used to be prior to this year, it used to be you could just have it out, but now it has to be put up. So if you got it laying out thinking, oh, it's legal and it's in a legal container, that's illegal now. So you have to have it actually put up, concealed, but you're able to transport, but it has to be with that criteria that I just stated.
Jordan Eichelberger, good morning. Hit the claps for Jordan Eichelberger.
I like his name.
I like his name. You know what? So this is actually a special episode because I rode the train.
Okay.
I rode the Metro.
Okay.
Every day for years with Erica
Okay.
and with Jordan Eichelberger. And it really does feel good. Good morning, Jordan. It really it really does feel good to have to do this interview with you.
Yes.
After, being in that vestibule, riding that train, 6:27 a.m. Can y'all feel me?
Man.
Riding that 6:27 every single day, going downtown Chicago. It feels good to interview you and to shout out what y'all, a new business. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
To shout out a new business. Because Erica's a friend, and Jordan. Us three came a long way. We in whole different lanes now from
The vestibule.
of the 627 riding that Metro. Because at that time, I was living here in Aurora, but I was working in Chicago.
Okay.
Because I couldn't really,
You had a nice commute.
Yeah, nice. Oh, lovely commute, y'all. An hour there and could be late.
Okay.
An hour back and was most likely going to be late.
Right.
And those days are long gone, and
Started from the bottom.
now we here. You know what I'm saying?
Vestibule to the vaults. Vestibule to the vaults.
Yeah, seriously. So it really does feel good. Good morning to you, Jordan, and good morning, Erica, once again. Michelle Gums, good morning. Whose birthday is it? Whose birthday is it in the chat? Oh, Sandra White.
Hey,
Happy birthday, Sandra.
Happy birthday.
Sandra. Yeah. Dora Sanchez, good morning to you. That's right. And Dan Barrero, good morning to you as well. Ben Tennant, good morning. All y'all in here tuning in. Y'all saw the headlines. They saw the what? Cannabis education. I'm tuning in.
Yeah, that's people's
Cannabis
interests
be like,
are peaked. They are definitely peaked, and that is help breaking down, bringing those closet smokers out to be okay.
Right.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. Now we started off talking about breaking down the stigma. And I think that what you guys are doing with the educational part helps break down the stigma.
Absolutely.
And again, touching on you started this journey in Denver.
Correct.
Have you been back to Denver?
I've been to Denver over 100 times.
Okay, now Denver kind of like you going back home now.
Yeah. Denver, the first portion of IGTM started in Las Vegas. That's where I took my first classes. I was doing a lot of time out of Vegas at that time. And I was losing money in casinos and everything. And I was like, yo, I have to do something different with my time out here. And they had cannabis classes, oddly enough, because Nevada was going through legalization process at that time. And I went and took a couple classes while I was out there. I got certified in infusion. And I took some trimming classes, and that just piqued my interest further. Because as you go to classes, you network with people, you meet more people, and you meet people, you get different components of business and different thoughts, and it could lead to other things. So my journey just led me to so many different people through the education aspect. And then I just took it and brought it back here. And it just was super successful in what we were doing, and just spreading the word and getting people educated and giving people information. Because a lot of people, you say education, you want to say people oh, educated. It's not about lack of smarts. A lot of people are intelligent right now. It's more like disbursement of information.
Right.
Absolutely. That's a good point.
Yeah, we wanted to bring a lot of disbursement of information to people and awareness. and show people the different opportunities in cannabis. And a lot of people flock to it once they get to seeing things. And a lot of people business savvy now. So once they get to seeing things and take a few classes, they're able to, usually come up with a plan and they're in cannabis.
A dispensary could go a long way to making Harvey, Illinois, of all cities, have we'll call it an economic recovery.
Yeah.
Where would they put it?
Housed it.
Okay.
Housed it.
Okay.
Because one of the components to it is, for example, they had a consumption lounge as well. That's supposed to be in Illinois. The component of it, that's the stickler to it, is that it has to be basically with a smoke shop or a cigar lounge because of the filtration systems. Oh,
that's right.
Yeah, so
that's right.
that didn't occur because now the different opportunities, right? So, for example, Las Vegas or Nevada has evolved. They're now about to release consumption lounge, which we're currently working on those right now for clients and for ourselves as well. But their consumption lounge allows you to sell cannabis. Here is just you're able to consume, that's it. In Nevada, you're able to sell the cannabis, but it's a single-use microdosage. You have to consume it there. And they also allow you to sell edibles, right? So you're able to make money from that. You're able to make money from entry. And then the bigger component is that they're going to allow you to put a restaurant in there and produce.
Ain't nobody going home.
So
y'all got pillows here? Can I get a blanket?
So it's right. So it's so many opportunities. So it's different things. Like we're in different markets, and we look and bringing different ideas back and kind of creating a hybrid here of our ideals and different businesses, and we've just been successful with it.
That's good.
Yeah.
I want to circle back around to something fast. When you were talking about dispensary being in Harvey. The important part and what we're pushing for when you talk about social equity, true social equity, true evening of the playing field in a community that I'm sure, I don't know the exact number, has a high arrest for simple possession, that the ownership of said dispensary is by the people of the community, somebody that actually cares and is invested in that community. That's how you'll see this economic boom of a resurgence of Harvey or any other community.
Just the
ownership of that dispensary must reflect the community and heavily be involved in the community in order for true social equity to take place.
Is Eric Kellogg still the mayor? He's still
no,
there?
No.
The mayor is Chris Clark.
Okay,
Led by Eric.
No, so I just wanted to put that out there.
Shout out to Chris Clark, by the way.
Because that's the bigger part of why we push for education. That is the beginning of it, the dissemination of information, putting it all out there, and just watching and being with that energy of, let's really make a difference, not just talk about it, but really make a difference.
Now, you guys have the website, IGotTheMunchies.net.
Well, we have that, but it's IGTMEducation.com.
That's the one that Monica actually put in the chat. Are you guys on Facebook, Instagram?
We have a Facebook page, which is I Got The Munchies. Okay. We're on Instagram. What's the Instagram? Is I Got The Munchies. The official I Got The Munchies.
It's official.
Yeah, the official. Because another thing to discuss is because of one of the differences is online marketing. Matter of fact, with cannabis. So you have a lot of different cannabis companies as far as marketing. So somebody like myself, I've had pages shut down. You have to read pages.
Okay, I'm about to say.
So when I first started, I was one of the first people to have 1 million people hit a page. So when I first started doing classes, we had the industry came out because they were trying to figure out how in the world I had 1 million impressions for my classes. But it was just organic. It was because I was speaking to my people, right? We never had information. So people at that time were excited about somebody actually giving them information, and they tuned in, and they spent their money, and it went how it went. Then they start controlling what can be on the page, what you can say or whatever. So a lot of
like moderating the language.
Yeah, so
the
same
terminology and all that.
Yeah, so somebody like say a bigger company, I'm gonna say a big company names, they can say and do the same thing regarding cannabis, do a class for cannabis.
Yeah.
And I can put the same class on mine and get took down. So we have to work like 2 times harder than a corporation. Like literally, I'm gonna have to do something twice. I may have to rebuild a website 2 or 3 times.
Right.
They built theirs once. I may have to redo a Instagram page 3 times. Right? Like we had a major following. I got to start all the way back over. So these are like the different things. We dealing with a shortage of money, right? Because you can't get a loan.
Can't get a loan.
So even though we have licenses from Illinois,
right,
we have all these different things because of how this business functions. It's federally illegal. The banking situation is the bigger issue because you cannot secure a loan. So when you're talking about cannabis, you have to be dealing with your cash or getting cash from somebody else, but it's not going to be under the traditional use of your credit or business, and those are the particular issues that are going on right now. And the safe banking is not happening, not anytime soon.
Right.
They actually took it out of the Biden bill. So now we got to look at how will we be able to survive. Right. Our problem is how we be able to survive economically going against billionaires. Right, because they had the money to sit back and market, to do these different things. So it's like
the people who had the capital and the finances to
Correct.
capitalize once it went in their favor.
Right. So it goes back to the stigma, right? So say, for example, Tom can go to his generational wealthy family and say, hey, I want to start cannabis. They may not like it, but they'll give Tom $1 million, $2 million. Like, do you, Tom? We come to our community and say, hey, we got licenses.
Right.
Right? We got the licenses. We on the website, all that. We need 100,000. Oh, that's weed.
Right.
Our community, our community will find a way because of the stigma of this not an investment. They'll invest in cryptocurrency that they may not even know about, right? Over a commodity of cannabis.
Right.
So it's like that go back to the stigma that people will pass up a commodity.
Right, sure.
To go into crypto.
Kelly Hills, good morning. Michelle Gums, good morning. Marlene Gutierrez, good morning, you wonderful friend. You. Ben says it's medically relevant to keep nursing license up to date. You need those continuing education hours. Thank you very much. Work with PTSD and several other conditions. Also do financial credit. Thank you very much. You can get continuing education credits. Needs to be taken seriously with several other therapies. Thank you, Ben. I appreciate that.
Yes.
Michelle says that now that it is legal in unincorporated Kane County, we would love to entertain the new businesses related in those areas. Thank you very much for that. The time is now 8:53 a.m. What a conversation. This was a good
fast, right?
What?
Now we need a part 2, 3, 4,
we can
5.
do that. We can do that. We can do that. This was a great conversation, by the way. So I think one of the last questions I'll have for both of you guys is, you live in Naperville, so we're kind of right next door. What's your outlook on the industry in the next 5 years?
I believe it'll be a lot of diversity. I don't believe that can be stopped. I believe that it will be a resurgence in a lot of minority neighborhoods. It's just about really getting the information out. I feel like we are educated enough now. We're intelligent. We know how to put things together. It's more or less, let's get together, get information, get educated in the business of cannabis, because it's a different mindset, it's a different type of business, and we could be successful. So I don't see anything but success. I see more Black people, I see more Latin people in the cannabis business and being successful in the business.
Right. With that same, you know what? That's what we'll do, because we're not looking backwards. That's what we'll do. We'll take, you know what, that little 4-piece. That's all right. We're gonna take that 4-piece,
flip it to a 16,
and that's what we're gonna do. You know what? Fine then. You know, I was just trying to make some money to feed my family. But that's all right. You know, y'all can take that little L, and I'm gonna take that L, and I'm gonna make put that same energy into, because the iron is hot, to change the narrative and to change the to eliminate the stigma.
And we on the time frame because, real quick, the licenses come out so fast. So you got a year or two. So it's like, are you gonna spend your 2 years advocating? You know what I'm saying? So we gotta be strategic about, we already know this happened. Let's put our energy and to moving forward and creating answers and solutions instead of spending 2 years talking about this person was. We understand that the money here now. Right. Let's get with the money, and we'll deal with these other things as it comes. But the importance is getting people into the business, getting them functioning, getting these businesses up and running during this short amount of time that we had to get it done.
Time is 8:55 a.m. A couple more minutes. How can we help you?
You all can help us by easy question. Right. You can help us by going on the website IGTMEducation.com. Check out our class. If you have questions on there, we have a contact us. You can send the questions. We answer pretty much immediately. We need more community involvement. We will be doing things in Aurora. We have done things in Aurora. We have other companies that we deal with in Aurora, and also in the Chicagoland area. So our biggest thing is like putting together bigger events. Hopefully we get to bring a convention, a cannabis convention to Aurora. That's one of the things we're working on, being it's the second biggest city in Illinois. So if anyone's interested in doing a cannabis convention later on in the year, September, October, check us out. Email us, Nikki, Nikki at IGTMEducation.com if you're interested in participating or going to a conference that we'll be trying to set up September, October in the rural area.
Sign up for a class.
Sign up for a class.
That definitely helps.
Yes. Sign up for a class. That, also, you can follow us. It's I Got The Munchies _official on Instagram.
Okay.
All right. Follow us there. We put lots of information there.
Okay.
And we put a lot on the website. I'm sorry. On our website. On the blog, we update probably every other day. So we try to put pertinent information. We don't put up articles that are nothing. We try to put up things that show you how to get into business, how things are looking in another market to compare them here to Illinois. So you may see another state on there, but it's in comparison to our state. So we just try to educate people and get them as much information to help them along in their process as fast as possible.
All right, the last piece of news for you guys is 8:57 a.m. We have a call at 9, so we will wrap it up right now. However, last piece of news for you. COVID-19 testing site near Chicago Premium Outlets will open 6 days a week, up from the current 4 days a week, starting January 3rd, 2450 North Farnsworth Avenue, from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m., Monday through Friday. The site is currently open Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. Do not forget, COVID-19 testing site near Chicago Premium Outlets, open 6 days a week starting January 3rd. This was a great conversation.
Yes.
We appreciate y'all coming on to the show.
Appreciate the opportunity.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. Yes. We will do more.
Yes.
We will do more. Yeah, this ain't the end. It's not
over.
Not over.
Not at all.
All right, we never love.
Just a pause.
All right, all of you wonderful listeners out there, thank you very much for tuning in. Take care of yourself and each other.